All right, we're going to do fake versus real Rolex. Take a look at these two Rolexes, figure out which one's fake, which one's real. Left hand, right hand, left hand, right hand. All right, that's all the time you get to look at that. We'll do that later. I'm addressing you guys. I'm addressing this particular comment and a couple of other ones. When I said, you know, if someone was wearing a fake watch, they'd lose my respect immediately. He says, immediately? Well, my guy, might surprise you, but some people don't have a mortgage to put on to spend on a fucking watch. That's what he said. Those were his words. You think I don't know that, right? Just because you don't have the money for a diamond or a luxury watch doesn't mean you have to have a fake one, right? My father, he spent years paying off a layaway on a Submariner, and then eventually he had to sell it because he had some other financial needs. And then he bought himself a Seiko because he couldn't afford a Rolex. Didn't buy himself a fake one, right? And neither would I. So before we go on, this is Greg, and this is Greg's private collection of watches. These watches appreciated in value over the course of the last year. We're going to talk about that. Greg, you own this watch?
Yes, I do.
You're not taking anything less than 50 for it?
Nothing less than 50.
And you probably wouldn't even take the 50 either?
Don't even want to because you just don't know the way gold's going up. I only have 32 in it, but 50 for sure.
Right. The point of this conversation is not for me to bash this guy right here or some of the other comments I'm going to be addressing in this video. Band kid, Julian, or what have you. The point is to explain the dynamic of what you want to get out of life, right? You want your watch collection to look like this. Greg didn't fall out of the sky. You weren't born rich. I wasn't born rich, right?
Not at
but
all.
We're hustling and we're doing what we have to do and we're able to make money. And I'm trying to give you the tools and the perspective. Now, if someone came to do business with you and they came wearing this watch, right, would you really be eager to do business with them?
Not at all. I would just think they're fake and wouldn't really want to do business with them.
Greg is in the custom team. You come here, Greg. You're doing business with me. If you saw me as a businessman and I was wearing some fake knockoff like this, I don't think you'd stick around for too long to do business with me and make custom pieces in the custom team.
Not too much because watches are pieces of art. I mean, the movement, the mechanical parts and stuff. I mean, obviously they're worth money for a reason.
This watch is a lie, okay? This watch is the truth. Now, one thing I want to show you, this is a Hulk. It's a rare Rolex. You got this for around...
9,200, luckily.
9,200. Nowadays, they're going for around 16,500.
16,500 easily.
When Joe Biden drops the rest of that 1,400, you're looking at 19,000 for this piece, okay? Because of the appreciation in the value is going to come from more dollars chasing an asset. That's where the money comes from. That's why the price goes up. More dollars, not more Rolexes, right? There's more dollars in the marketplace. Doesn't mean there's more Rolexes. The bottom line being there's plenty of tools and proper things I want you to understand to make the right choices. We're going to talk about how I'm knocking this guy's hustle who's selling these fake watches. And I'll explain to you what I would do if I was in his situation. Standing in Times Square, right, on the street, and how I would hustle my way out of that in a minute. But the bottom line is this. You got the two Rollies right here. This is a diamond tester, but there's no diamonds on here, right? So let's, but why am I running this? Well, Rolex uses a hardened sapphire crystal, which they manufacture themselves. So you see the number goes up to 5 or 6. Obviously, this is a piece of glass. It goes up to 1. There's a reason why Rolex watches are what they are. And the reason being, where the value comes from, Rolex cannot make and produce these high-quality watches for everybody in the world. These watches are reserved for people who hustle, who understand the world, and can make something of themselves. Wearing a fake one is just telling yourself a lie. I don't want you to tell yourself a lie. You don't need to buy this, and no one needs to sell it either. There's a way for that guy in the street to make money if he pulls his head out of his ass, right? Instead of hustling fake Rolexes and things like that. And I'll tell you exactly what he could do or what I would do if I was in his shoes. If you don't have the money for mortgage money for a watch, then don't buy one. Buy a modest one. You could buy old school vintage watches that are really cool, that are not so hype and in high demand like this one, that are still going to be beautiful timepieces, right? I want to protect Philippe. I have a Rolex. I want to protect Philippe. Should I take the money out of my business to look cool to buy a Protect Philippe? I'd still be a liar because I'm not in the Protect Philippe. I got to sit here and take my money and put it into my business. Or should I get a fake Patek Philippe, or a really good fake one, and make you think that I'm wearing a Patek Philippe over here?
Fuck no.
And tell you a lie? You think I'm a fucking sucker. There's no need to wear fake watches at all.
Not at all.
That's that. One more look at Greg's collection right here. One of my favorite pieces is really this one with the rubies on the markers. Is an incredible. This one is a timeless classic as well. And I think you have more, right, Greg?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You got another whole box, I believe.
Yeah, this is just what we grabbed
Right?
today.
I mean, if you want to work with Greg, you can hit him up. If you want some of these timepieces, grab them while you can, right? For the people that want the real deal.
Only real.
Oh, obviously, or whatever it is. The prices are sadly going to go up. There's things happening in the economy that you should understand. Not walk around, I want money, I want to buy this, and I want to look cool in the club and a Rolex. You're done. You're finished. You're not going to make it that way. You're not going to have these things. These things are not reserved for people who don't know anything. The way you want to understand the economy is like a basketball stadium, Madison Square Garden, not that far from here, which nobody could even go to now, sadly. But if you want to sit courtside, there's not that many seats courtside, right? There's a little bit more seats right behind courtside, and there's a hell of a lot more seats in the stands. The best in life is reserved for the lucky, the fortunate, and the hardworking. When you're gonna go courtside, you're gonna see celebrities, athletes, actors, doctors, lawyers, people with incredible talent. That's what you have to do to sit courtside, or somebody who got rich some way, somehow. Or sit a little bit farther behind. And as you go out from the center, it's going to be more and more accessible to whoever it is. It's dependent upon your talents. It's dependent upon some luck in life, for sure. But this is the way the system works. You cannot fake sitting in courtside, right? You can't pretend you're on the court side of a basketball stadium with, so why would you pretend this? You either are or you aren't, right? If I'm going to go to the basketball, I'm not going to try to look like a courtside guy. I could take the money out. I could, short my inventory in my shop and sit at courtside so I could look cool. Or I could sit in my place in society, a couple of rows back, or however much I want to spend. That's fair, in the interest of my long-term interest, in the interest of my business, because that's the way I think. And that's what's going to help me grow my business, do business with the right people, and get out of this fucking situation here and get into a better one. And now we're going to talk about knocking the hustle of that guy selling these watches. Now it's time to talk about this dude whose hustle I'm knocking out there selling these fucking corny watches. And I'll tell you what I'll do in this situation. Damn, why are you stopping the next man's hustle at TraxNYC? You get money, stay in the lane, sheesh. Yeah, I'll help you stay in the lane real quick. The guy who sells that is doing what he has to do to eat. Respect the people who don't have a jewelry in NYC. Listen, he has to eat. I'm gonna tell him how to eat. One, I gave him money to do that video, right? Enough to make his time worthwhile. No one's gonna watch these videos and not buy these from him now. That's not the way it works. I wouldn't stop another man's hustle. I'm only here to give you the tools necessary so you could make money and buy jewelry. How much fucking jewelry are you gonna buy from TraxNYC.com if you don't have any fucking money and don't know how to make it or got your head up your fucking ass? Not a lot, right? You gotta really have to understand the way the world works. And, it works for me. When I turned the corner, right, I'm an immigrant from Azerbaijan. You don't even know the fuck Azerbaijan is on a map. 99% of you. You couldn't even point to that shit. It would take you 20 minutes to find that shit on a fucking map. I came here in sandals in 1994 with my parents trying to learn English. They got to explain a fucking damn thing to me. I turned the corner in the Diamond District when I was 18 years old. I had bubble wrap in a shoulder bag, maybe $100 in my pocket. And I used to wrap packages in a staircase in this fucking in this building that I'm sitting here. I've got 3 office spaces here, a mezzanine, a store, and a factory. Okay, I'm trying to put you on and tell you what's up. I'm not knocking this fucking guy selling these corny fucking watches, and I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is. Another thing, right? Imagine being successful and knocking someone else in a hustle and pandemic. Well, if anybody's interested, I'll tell you how business is done. If I was that guy sitting on the street selling these watches, what would I do? I would calculate how many people pass by on a daily basis. Let's say he's out there in Times Square and there's 200 people walking past him every day. Now, there's 200 people or so walking past him every day. And that's a certain type of clientele. Any different parts of the city, there might be 250 people walking past. They might have more money. Or someplace else, you might have 300 people passing you. They might have less money. I would find out who's passing by. And I'm really, angry at this guy and the stupid mentality that people have. I'm sitting there telling him, listen, let me give you a couple of $100 and let me do a video with your stuff. He's so confused. He's this, he's that. There's a reason why he's never going to get off that off that street level grind. You got to have the right ideas. You got to make the right choices. So instead of just sitting there going, hey, I got a fake Rollie for you, the same old game for the past 30 years in Times Square, you could use your mind and you could hustle and you could figure things out. So let me show you an example of what that game would look like. So I calculate how many people, what kind of people walk past the street. Put me on the street level. I'll show you what the fuck I'm going to do. I'd have a carpet full of stuff or what have you. I would see the type of people walking past my booth. Now, this guy gets these watches from some vendor or somebody who has a bunch of cheap shit coming from China. And that vendor is connected with a bunch of other vendors that have all sorts of stuff. Egg beaters and chargers and this and that and so on and so forth. I would experiment with every single product on the street level. I would stand there and say, hey guys, you want to charge it? I could charge 3 different types of phone for your car. Passing by, only $15, sir. Buy this and get this egg beater for free and do this and do that. I would hustle every day until I could figure out the bulk of those 300 or 200 people that pass me by every day, how to monetize every single one of them, to make the most money out of every single person that passes me by, to give them something that's going to be useful for them, that they could rely on me, and I'd be off the fucking street in no time. Pandemic or no pandemic. Not knocking his fucking hustle. He doesn't have a fucking hustle. He sits there with a carpet full of fake shit trying to hawk it to people. And he'd fucking rip you off and run off with every fucking thing you have if you gave him the chance to do it. Because he doesn't have the right mentality on how to make money. And not a lot of people do. That's why we're in a fucking pandemic to begin with. I did everything I could to prevent this fucking pandemic. Pandemic, when we found out it was a fucking virus floating out in the air, instead of listening to top scientists that tells you it's from touching, should have listened to the jeweler in the diamond district. They told you the shit is in the fucking air. We could have locked down the world at the same time, put on all our masks at the same time, and knocked it out of existence. Instead, we're fighting mutants like it's X-Men over here. So don't tell me nothing a pandemic. And I appreciate the people that comment, whatever it might be. And I'm trying to tell you what it is. And if your comment is right, or it's coming from the right place, you see me knocking somebody. I don't knock nobody. I do what I need to do. I make my choices carefully. I communicate information carefully. Okay? The reality is there's no reason why somebody should wear this piece of shit or sell this piece of shit. Hustle or no hustle, you could make a lot more money selling something of useful to the people walking past you in Times Square that they might need at the time, based on the vendors that you have, based on the crowd that you're exposed to, rather than trying to sell the same fake hustle bullshit game from whoever. And whoever the fuck watched that video, you think they're going to be like, wait a minute, I don't want to go to Times Square and buy that watch now. Trax did a video. The people walking past that, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like I said, it's for high school kids or a high school play or for some in a background in a movie. I got a wall full of Rolexes and the camera flashes while Adam Sandler is, looking for opal in a fish. It's not for anything else. It's not for you to wear. Look, you're never going to fool me. You want to wear a Rolex? You can wear this Rolex all day long. You're never going to fool me that you're a Rolex Hulk guy that has rare Rolexes on. And now I'm doing business with you. I'm going to see you for who you are. You're never going to hide. So that's that. Whether that guy or this guy or this guy or anybody, you got to make the right choices and you got to hustle hard enough and smart enough that you're not in this world. The world shouldn't be the way it is. People should be making better choices. And if people were charitable and intelligent and did the right thing, it would be. But they're not. They want to look like this. Celebrities are wearing that. Now I am. It's a crabs in a barrel world. I don't make it a crabs in a barrel world. I do my part to make it the way it's supposed to be. I hustle hard. I have a team of people. I'm building a business. I'm trying to give people a middle-class life, a good service, build jewelry, build a factory. They're not going to tell me a goddamn fucking thing about hustling. If I was a fucking loser like this, I wouldn't be fucking making money in a pandemic. I'd be a loser. And that's the lesson to be learned here. Take this watch and throw it the fuck out of here.